Sam's eyes were stuck on the news when he saw World War III start, buildings start crashing, missiles launching, the stock market coming to the ground. Sam's whole stock became red. He lost every day his savings. He didn't have bread to eat or pay the rent of his house. People couldn't get money from their bank. The money was there only. Sam thought this was just a bad time, but what if this thing continued for a long time? This video tells about 6 important assets which help in any financial crash. These are assets which are better than cash and stock, which will earn money. If you want to make a good future, then watch the video completely. People think crises make a person poor, but the truth is it transfers wealth from one person to another who has these 6 assets. In 1923, there was a major economic crash in Germany that led to extreme inflation. At that time, a Berlin banker had saved money for 30 years in the bank, but due to this inflation, his entire savings became worthless. He could not even afford to buy a cup of coffee. Meanwhile, about 40 miles away, a farmer had the same land and was still growing crops. Inflation did not affect him in the same way. In fact, the value of his farming increased because people cannot eat paper money. Food is a basic necessity for survival. During that time, German farmers became relatively wealthy, as people were willing to exchange valuable items for food. That is why everyone should consider owning some land for agriculture so they can fulfill their basic needs in times of crisis. Second, gold. There have been many forms of currency over time, such as barter systems and paper notes. However, one form of money that has remained consistent for thousands of years is gold. Gold has been used for over 1,000 years as a store of value. During the French Revolution, paper notes were introduced, and people started trading with them. However, within a few years, these notes lost up to 99% of their value, and many people became financially ruined. Even central banks issued these notes, but they continued to buy and hold gold to secure their reserves. This is because, in times of crisis, gold has historically retained its value. In fact, even the US dollar was once backed by gold. That is why every individual should consider owning some gold to protect themselves during difficult times. Money can lose value, but real assets hold power. Gold has survived wars, crises, and collapsing currencies. If everything fails, what you own matters more than what you're owed. Third, land. In the 1930s, during the economic crisis in Germany, prices of assets like buildings skyrocketed, sometimes reaching billions of marks. Yes, the currency itself had become almost meaningless, but the buildings were still there. People still needed a place to live, so they continued to pay rent. While many people saw their bank accounts drop to zero, those who had invested in real estate faced difficulties only for a short time. The value of money changed, but the need for shelter never disappeared. Everyone needs a roof over their head, no matter how bad the crisis becomes. That is why owning land or property can protect you in uncertain times. Money can fail, but real assets remain. When currency collapses, necessities still hold value. Those who own assets don't panic, they adapt. In every crisis, survival depends on what you truly own. Fourth, business. The third asset is business. But not just any business. It should be a business that provides essential goods. In the 1980s, Brazil experienced hyperinflation, where the prices of basic goods changed rapidly. For example, the price of bread could be $500 in the morning and rise to $1,000 by evening. People who relied only on paper money suffered greatly. However, those who owned businesses dealing in essential goods like food, oil, fuel, and medicine became richer day by day. Business owners could adjust prices according to inflation. So crises did not affect them in the same way. In times of crisis, luxury businesses are risky, but essential businesses remain strong and profitable.